What a front row. Rossi, Lorenzo and Marquez, and we're away.
Rossi got a great start from pole position. Rossi needs to get that lead down to the first corner. Lorenzo's got the inside line. Will the Spaniard charge up the inside? No. Dovizioso tries to ride around the outside of Lorenzo into the first corner. He gets pushed wide by Marquez. Lorenzo has a look at the inside at turn 2, but it's Rossi that leads. Marquez third.
Just where Rossi wanted to be, but Lorenzo is already desperate to get in front of him. Lorenzo, this isn't the first lap that you see in too many races. Lorenzo's desperate to get up to the front. They come now to the Cito Pons corner. Lorenzo getting up the inside. Rossi holds the advantage. He'll have another go down at the dry track corner.
He will. Great start by Dani Pedrosa on the number 26 Repsol Honda. Pedrosa already up 3 places from 7th to 4th place. Now, can Lorenzo get close enough to attack Rossi on the brakes? Rossi runs a really defensive line up the inside. Dani Pedrosa there, flying through the field. He's now taken Marc Marquez for 3rd place. Dani Pedrosa never off the podium here in Jerez in MotoGP.
Brilliant stuff by Rossi down at dry sack corner. So defensive. Nowhere for Lorenzo to come through. We now come through the Aspar corner into the stadium section. Listen to that crowd for the first time.
Yeah, this is not what Marc Marquez wanted. He did not want Dani Pedrosa getting in front of him. Marquez needed to get away with those 2 factory Yamahas that have been so strong all weekend so far. Aleix Espargaro's up into 5th place. Maverick Vinales dropped 2 spots down to 7th place. Dovizioso got a great start. He was almost up to 2nd place at the first corner. He's dropped back down to 6th place.
Into the Jorge Lorenzo corner, the infamous turn 13. We ride with Marc Marquez. You can see that it's Rossi leads the way from Lorenzo. Pedrosa up towards turn 1. Marc Marquez, I think, a little bit surprised by that. Then we see Aleix Espargaro, then Dovizioso at turn 1. We ride now with Dani Pedrosa in 3rd place.
And I think this is where we should remember Pedrosa is the only one from those front 4 who opted for that softer option front, and that certainly is going to be playing into his hands in these early stages.
Yeah, absolutely, Dylan. Dani Pedrosa has got to go for it right now at this stage of the race while he's got good grip from that soft front tyre. He will run into issues a little bit later on in the race. It's just a case of how long Dani Pedrosa can hang in there in this podium battle. Now, will Rossi again run a very defensive line to stop Lorenzo lunging up the inside, coming down to turn number 6. Rossi is again, look, he hooks the right hand side of the track. There's no way through for Lorenzo to attack on the brakes. Marquez closes up on Dani Pedrosa, runs in too hot, loses 6 or 7 bikes lengths there, does the world champion.
Yeah, that was a mistake from Marc Marquez, and once again Rossi brilliant down at the dry sack.
Through for Lorenzo to attack on the brakes. Marquez closes up on Dani Pedrosa, runs in too hot, loses 6 or 7 bikes lengths there, does the world champion.
Yeah, that was a mistake from Marc Marquez, and once again Rossi brilliant down at the dry sack. We ride with Valentino Rossi. In his face, number 99, his teammate by name, but in no other way. Jorge Lorenzo up the inside. Lorenzo takes the lead as they come to the edge of the corner, runs it wide, and Rossi's back at the front. The crowd are going crazy.
Yeah, Lorenzo just couldn't quite keep a tight line through the Angel Nieto corner. Rossi swept back through at the Palachi corner. Rossi back in the front, then the top 4 starting to break away from Aleix Espargaro. Suzuki in 5th place. Lorenzo has a look at the inside, down on the brakes into the final corner. Rossi too strong. Lorenzo cuts it tight to the inside, no way through. Rossi again holds on. Marquez now back inside the top 3. He's got back ahead of Dani Pedrosa.
This is what we wanted. This is what we are getting up towards turn 1. Pedrosa thinks about getting up the inside of Marquez. No way through. Right, Aleix Espargaro, Andrea Dovizioso in 5th and 6th. Vinales, Eugene Lafferty in 8th place. Paul Espargaro 9th. Hector Barber 10th. Batista Crutchlow, Brian Leononi and Andy Smith, Pirro, Reddick, Miller and Baz.
Take a bow, Eugene Lafferty. He's picked up 7 places in the first 2 laps, coming from 15th place on the grid, looking to score points for the 4th race in succession. He's ahead of Paul Espargaro, Hector Barbera, Alvaro Bautista and Cal Crutchlow. Rossi then powers that factory Yamaha out of the Cito Pons corner, down the back straight. Lorenzo doesn't look like he'll be close enough to attack this time around. No, he will not.
Yeah, but he's had 2 big goes and not got through. Rossi is riding a great race at the front as we stand at the moment. And so I think Lorenzo, right, got to go to plan B now, because plan A has not worked out.
Fastest man on track last time around was Marc Marquez. He was able to pick off his teammate Dani Pedrosa. It was crucial that Marquez didn't get mired in behind Dani Pedrosa for too long. This is where on the previous lap Lorenzo attacked Rossi, took the lead very, very briefly before he couldn't hold that tight line. Rossi swept back through. Marquez now piling the pressure on Lorenzo through the Alex Crivier corner.
Tell you what, Marquez is going to have a go. You just get the feeling through the Alex Marquez corner, and now up towards turn 13. Will he get up the brakes at the inside? No. Good late braking from Lorenzo, but Marquez is right back in the hunt, and Rossi is just opening up a very, very tiny advantage at the front. I don't think it really matters, that sort of advantage at the moment, but Rossi has fought off the invaders so far.
Yeah, Valentino Rossi is going for it at the front of the Spanish Grand Prix. Fastest lap of the race, a 1:40.090, 4/10 of a second lap. Last time around faster than Jorge Lorenzo, 3/10 quicker than the man we're looking at now, Marc Marquez. So Rossi, his lead over half a second for the first time in this race.
Has Dovizioso gone past Espargaro?
Not yet, no, it's Maverick Vinales.
Sorry, it's Maverick Vinales that I'm looking at behind Dovizioso. Right, back with Marc Marquez. Here is Rossi, 46. 6 times Premier Class winner here, a 125 and 250cc winner, having a magnificent ride at the front at the moment. Marquez has a think about Jorge Lorenzo. Here we go. There is the latest Espargaro. There is Dovizioso, and there is Maverick Vinales. So the Suzukis are doing okay so far.
What a job by Eugene Laverty. There he is on that number 50 Aspar Ducati. Laverty, last time around, was only a 1/10 of a second slower than Maverick Vinales, and Andrea Dovizioso ahead of him on track. Paul Espargaro is making no impression on the Irishman. There is Rossi, slowly but surely, just eking out a couple of bike lengths again through this stadium section here in Jerez. The gap to Lorenzo up to 7/10 of a second. Rossi's got the hammer down.
Yeah, and I reckon Marquez feels that he may have to get past Lorenzo to stop Rossi getting away. Early stages it may be. Here they come up towards turn 13. Marquez not close enough. What will the gap be when they cross the line with 23 laps remaining? 23, that's a lot of laps for them and those tyres.
Marc Marquez, Lorenzo's pit board telling him exactly what the situation is. Lorenzo just put in his personal best lap of the race, a 1:40.3, but it was still 2/10 slower than Valentino Rossi. Marquez again 3/10 slower that time around on Valentino Rossi. So the 9 times world champion doing a brilliant job of controlling this race from the front. Cal Crutchlow's just taken a length from Alvaro Bautista last time around. Eugene Laverty just lost 3/10 of a second in that battle of a 7th with Maverick Vinales.
Here is Valentino Rossi, 37 years old, recovering from a big crash just 14 days ago at Austin in Texas, and riding a magnificent race at the front, but there is still a long way to go. Maverick Vinales trying to close up on the Ducati of Andrea Dovizioso in 6th place. There is Eugene Laverty, Paul Espargaro, Hector Barbera. We can't speak highly enough about Eugene Laverty, can we?
No, it's been an absolutely sensational performance. Double winner in the World Superbike race here 3 years ago in 2013. Now, if there are issues about rear grip, a bit greasy, a bit slippery out there in these hotter conditions, that Ducati GP 14.2 offers some decent rear grip. It's very strong in the wet as well, wasn't it, that bike? So look at Rossi, there's no doubt about it. He's stretching out the field here, Valentino Rossi.
A bit further down, look at Andrea only down in 14th place
Disaster.
on the factory Ducati. Absolute disaster.
We heard from Dylan, didn't we? He threw in that hard option front tyre on the grid. He'd not even tried it before this weekend, so he's going completely into the unknown in this race.
Marquez, sorry to jump in there. Very, very close on the brakes to Jorge Lorenzo, wasn't he?
Yeah, Rossi's extended his advantage. Another 2/10 out of Lorenzo on that lap last time around, so the gap now up to almost 9/10 of a second. Marc Marquez just can't find a way by Jorge Lorenzo.
We ride with the pair, we ride with Marc Marquez. There is Lorenzo in front of him through turn 4. Little short straight then into this difficult right hand of the Zito Pons corner, named after the former Spanish 250cc world champion, double world champion. Slightly uphill, it's not an easy corner. And the straight itself is about 600 metres long, but it really dips away down into this dry sack right-hand corner. Yeah, it was nearly a second now, that advantage.
It is. Valentino Rossi doing a great job. Danny Pedrosa, that bold decision to run that soft option front tyre, paid off in the very early stages, as we suspected. He got himself up inside the top 3 very early on, but he's already paying the price. It's Danny Pedrosa really struggling to run the pace of these top 3 who've all got that hard option front tyre in. Last time around, Pedrosa was 7/10 of a second slower than Valentino Rossi. Surely coming through the third split now, Rossi will have, for the first time in this race, a 1 second cushion. He does. It's up to 1.1 seconds. This is a Lorenzo-esque performance by Valentino Rossi. Get the whole shot from pole position, get out in front, manage your rhythm, manage the race, and don't give anybody a chance to come back. And it's been an absolute majestic performance by Rossi so far.
I think the one thing to say about Dani Pedrosa is, yes, certainly the other guys would now have gotten used to that harder tyre. They can now run that hotter pace. One thing Dani Pedrosa did say was, you can see a lace going up the inside there. Dani Pedrosa did say he's obviously not quite as tough on that rear tyre. So in the latter stages of the race, if these guys at the front have worn it out quite badly, he might come back.
Brilliant stuff there from Maverick Vinales, getting up the inside of Andrea Dovizioso's Ducati and hanging in there and hanging on as they got up towards turn one.
He'll be kicking himself, Maverick Vinales, because he missed the start completely again. Lost 2 or 3 places on that opening lap. Alvaro Bautista on the factory Aprilia has crashed out. He was battling for 11th place with Cal Crutchlow. He's gone down at turn number 11 as the Spanish rider. Former 125cc winner here 10 years ago now, as Valentino Rossi just continues to put more daylight between himself and Jorge Lorenzo. Marc Marquez again closes up in the braking zone for the dry sack corner, but he just hasn't been able to show Lorenzo a wheel as yet.
And they are all three, these leading three, on the same tyre choice. So we're not saying, oh, well, look, this is going to change towards the end of the race. Obviously, we're changing between the Yamahas and the Honda, but they are on the same tyre choice. It's a masterclass from the master at the moment.
So I suppose the question is, at this stage of the race, there's still 21 laps to go. Has Rossi gone too early? Is he just burning up his tyres a little bit more than Lorenzo and Marquez? Are they thinking more about the final third of the race, or is Valentino Rossi just out there full attack mode thinking, okay, well, I'll try and build up as big a lead as I possibly can and then just nurse the tyres home in those final stages? It's all an intriguing aspect that will unfold in these next 21 laps or so here in the race. But you have to say, Valentino Rossi, the crowd loving this as he streaks away from the home crowd favourites. Lorenzo over the line in second place. 1.5 seconds now is Rossi's advantage. Another 3/10 he took out of Lorenzo on that last lap.
What do you reckon, Dylan? Is he using too much tyre to get out there?
If I'm honest, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, you would imagine, yes, but this is not something we often see from Valentino, like you guys say. But do you know what? He's been working so much. They've said they've been working on the initial stages of the race. Whilst beforehand, he'd often come a bit stronger towards the end. You know, have a bad qualifying, not start quite as well, and then be on equal pace with Lorenzo towards the end. They've been focusing so much just on that start, and he was always heading out in these practice sessions on as new a tyre as he possibly could, and always going as hard as he could the second he left pit lane.
We had a glimpse there of Cal Crutchlow. There he is again. This is a very, very important 19.5 laps for Cal Crutchlow, who needs to finish the race after missing out on the points in the first 3 races of the season. Eugene Lavin is still running in 8th place, but Paul Espargaro and Hector Barbaro are just getting him in their sights a little. Salute the master, salute the doctor, salute Valentino Rossi.
Intense weekend. Finally, the moment has come for the riders who put their talents on show to celebrate.